Hi everyone, so today we're going to look at exact trig values. You need to know these off by heart for the non-calculator paper in your Maths GCSE. So first thing that I always do is I write out a table like this. We're going to fill this in, and there's a little trick I'm going to show you with your hand. So if you hold your hand out like that, sort of spread out, then hopefully you will see that your thumb and your little finger kind of make a 90-degree angle. So that's worth noting. Your little finger is like 0 degrees, like the base of the triangle, and your thumb is like 90 degrees. Okay, so everything in between are also angles, your fingers here. So this finger here could be 30 degrees, and it will be, we're going to use it like that. This middle finger, sort of halfway, it's 45 degrees. And your second finger is 60 degrees. So we're going to imagine this is going to help us with our trig values here. Okay, so starting with sine and 0. So to find our sine values, we need to remember this. We're going to square root the number of fingers below the angle, and we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, so we're going to remember that. So if we look at our hand again, we're going to start with 0. 0. The square root, fingers below 0, so if we sort of hold the finger towards our palm, then how many fingers are below? So there are no fingers below. So that would be the square root of 0 divided by 2. And that is just 0, the number. Okay? Right, so 30 is the next one. If we hold the finger towards the palm, the number of fingers below, there's just 1, so that would be the square root of 1 divided by 2, and if we can remember that the square root of 1 is 1, so that would just be 1 over 2, okay, or a half. And then 45, let's have a look. So 45 here, we've got 2 fingers below, so that would be the square root of 2 divided by 2. 60, we've got 3 fingers below, so that is the square root of 3 divided by 2. And then 90, we've got 4 fingers below, so that's the square root of 4 over 2. Now I can simplify that to 2 over 2, which is the number 1. Okay? Right, another way to remember this, if you don't like looking at the hand method, is the numbers just go up consecutively. So 0, square root of 0, square root of 1, square root of 2, 3, 4. And they're all square rooted, and then you just have to simplify them. Okay, let's look at cos. So cos, still using the hand method, is just the square root of the fingers above the angle finger now. So square root of fingers above, divide by 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 0 to start with. So fingers above 0, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be the square root of 4 over 2. That's 2 over 2, so that's just 1. Okay, and the next one, 30. So 1, 2, 3, square root of 3 over 2. Can't simplify that. Now, if you notice, it's exactly the same, but back to front. So we've got the square root of 2 over 2, and then we will have the square root of 1 over 2. Well, let's just check. So 60, if we do fingers above, so it's the square root of 1. Divide by 2, so yeah, that is right, that's a half. And then the final one, 90, no fingers above that one, so it would be square root of 0 over 2, which is just a 0 there. So it's everything the same, but reverse. Okay, tan's a little bit different, so tan is these two, sine and cos, divided. So for that, we're going to take the fingers below, the square root of them, and we're going to divide it by the fingers above. And that will give us our tan ratios, okay? So with that, we've got fingers, so 0 first. The fingers below is 0, so that would be the square root of 0. And it would be divided by the square root of 4, and it doesn't really matter what we're dividing it by. It's still going to give us 0, so 0 is the answer there. And the next one is 30, so we're going to say fingers below, that's the square root of 1, which is just 1, divided by the square root of 3. Now for this, so that's 1 over root 3. Now we need to rationalise the denominator, and that gives us root 3 over 3. So if you remember your surds, rationalising the denominator. And if you need to revise that, there's a video on my channel on rationalising the denominator, which you can look up. So here, 45, if we look at that one, so 45. Okay, so we've got the same number of fingers above as we do below now. So it's root 2 over root 2, which is 1. So that would be 1. And 60 is fingers below, that's the square root of 3 over the square root of 1. So that is root 3 over 1, which is just root 3 as a surd. And this last one's an interesting one. So we've got the square root, so we've got 90, so we've got the square root of the fingers below, which is root 4 divided by the square root of nothing, which is an undefined value. Defined value. So it isn't 0, it is undefined value. So that's one that you just need to know, sometimes written as the infinity symbol. Okay, so that's that. Look up your surds rationalising if you're not sure how to do that, but that's some neat trick to remember your exact values.